far as oh,
Well, it's fine because we are now live. It's official. Yes, yes, yes. As you can see, we are live here, connected from three different locations, leveraging technology, leveraging the digital space to come and connect with you. So if you're watching us right now, go ahead and just share the feeds. Go ahead and just do a watch party. We're about to have a conversation. We're about to get into it. This is your girl, Dr. China Bethy. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm excited to really be connected with some phenomenal women from all over the world. Men and women are connected to this movement. They're saying yes to Forex. It's becoming a global phenomenon. Yes, it is. Tokyo, China is becoming a household name. Yes, it is. And we're blessed to bring you just some candid conversations, really intimate, really just getting into some dialogue about who you are aligned to and who you are connected to and how important it is to be connected to the right people at the right time. And so go ahead and share this wherever you are. We're streaming from both Facebook as well as we're streaming on YouTube. Some of you may even be on your Instagram pages, but make sure you share this and do your watch parties. I am here with Latoya, the game changer. She is right now in Baton Rouge. What's up, Toya?
hey, Dr. China, how you doing? Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, I'm doing amazing. You're looking beautiful as ever. I
Thank
love
you.
it. Yes, we are also here with Davinia. They call her that Forex chick. Yes, absolutely.
Hey,
In
pleasure to
the
be here
audience.
with you, Dr. China, and of course, Mrs. Latoya. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So we're excited to just really have some conversation, have some dialogue. Many people are in a really unique space right now in life, in business, or opportunity in school. Everything is really shifted, and I want to talk a little bit about the times that we're in and why what we do is so attractive to so many people right now. Leveraging technology, being inside of this digital space, and why is some people may be watching. I've been a part of this space for 4 years, Toya. I said yes to Forex 4 years ago, Davinia, and some people may be watching my story and feel like it's too late. They should have got on when I got on. Why do you believe that this is the best time to be a part of what we do? So I'll start with you, Toya. Why do you believe that, and how long have you been a part of it? What has some of your success been? And why do you feel like somebody saying yes to Forex right now is really the best time for them to get involved in it?
Well, Dr. China, first of all, I've been in this space for almost 11 months now. I knew nothing about Forex at all, nothing about it. But actually, I came in this platform because of you. I saw you on social media. I know you and I knew each other from New Orleans, went to school together, but we lost contact over the years. And when I saw how you were living and winning, I was like, I just had to have a piece of that. And so when you told me about what you were doing, I was like, you got to put me on. And I'm so grateful and thankful that you allow me to not, you allow me to get in this space with you. You wasn't selfish. You basically said, Toya, I'm going to put you on. And to me, that meant a big deal, especially coming from the city of New Orleans with so many people that we grew up with. We've seen poverty. We've seen certain mindsets because that's just the way we were raised. That's just all we knew. And so since I'm gonna just tell you, since I said yes to Forex, I am now retired at the age of 39 years old. God is truly amazing. Nobody would have never told me. As I said yes to Forex, mind you, something I didn't know nothing about almost 11 months ago, that this was going to be my ticket to retire at an early age where I can sit home with my children. I have a 1 year old right now. I have one going off to college. And when I tell you, this is truly amazing. Thank you so much.
Wow, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's a blessing. And so, Davinia, we see that you're here too. And, why do you think that this is something that people should do? Watching Toya, she's been on for 11 months. She retired at the age of 39. That's amazing. That's a blessing. And we're going to get some more into that story in a little bit more depth to go into how she was able to do that. But, Davinia, tell us a little bit about why you think people should be saying yes to Forex right now and why it's not too late for them.
Definitely, definitely. This is the perfect time to get into Forex. My name's Dee, as Dr. China said. Similar story as to why I joined into the movement, just seeing how Dr. China moving. I always say, she has such a stress-free look. It's like a grace. When you working hard that 9 to 5 life, and usually when you get into that 9 to 5 life, you fall into almost a routine with it. It's not necessarily something you want to do. It's just that this is the cards that was dealt or the career that you chose, and now you've fallen into the routine. You lose that excitement that you originally had, and then to see this light of like, you know what I mean? It just was an amazing thing to see. So why is Forex the best? Why is it right now the best time to get into Forex? We are moving into a digital currency. A lot of us are home, right? Digital times. A lot of us, when we used to go in and clock into a 9 to 5, you're now working from home. You're not operating on Zooms or on platforms just like this. So if we're making money from our homes for these companies just like this, and they showed us how easy it was for them to just say, okay, well, you know what? This is what you do. Why not move into a space where now you have your own light to make money when you wanted to? They've already told you that you can make money for them just doing it at home. Imagine if you just put that same energy into yourself. So as far as digital advancement, everything that's going on right now with this movement that, the world is really being put into, we're already in a digital world. Now let's make some digital money, so let's do it. I just think this is the perfect opportunity.
I see Toya. I know she probably got the baby right there with her. And you know what? We're going to be real authentic because we're moms and, we have responsibilities and it's a part of it. And I know everybody's not look the same. And some people think that they have to really be technical to do this and do this well. They think that they have to know what Forex is. They think that they have to be good at math. Let's talk a little bit about your experience. I know, Dee, you were a nurse, retired. Talk about that a little bit. Just people thinking that they have to be so astute to say yes, versus coming into this space and really learning how to become a student inside of this space. So you both have been able to retire. So Toya, let's go to you first and talk a little bit about what was that process like for you? Was it a part of your expectation? Did you come in wanting to retire, or what made you make a decision to retire from a good job investigating physicians, in the medical field type of a job, or type of job that people would have said, you're making good money, you got good benefits, why would you ever walk away from that? Talk a little bit about that to the person that's listening in that wants freedom. Maybe they are making good money, but they feel like they're locked down and they're not experiencing true freedom.
Well, yes, of course. So first of all, you guys, I had no expectations other than I saw Dr. China living a different lifestyle that I know I wanted part of. Never in a million years that I ever knew that I would be able to retire at such an early age because, they teach you to go to school, get a good education so you could get a good job. So we did it the way that the American dream deemed you to do it, right? And so yeah, I had a decent job, been in the medical field for almost 20 years. That's all I knew. That was my background. And I figured that that's what I would do retiring in. However, when I got into this space, at first I was like, well, I'm not really good into the stock markets, into the charts and all that. Don't never like math. So I thought that that's what I had to do. I had, to, be this chart geographical genius or something. And I was like, oh no, this ain't for me. But if you could give me some numbers to plug in, I definitely can make some money doing that. But when I got into this space, to my surprise, it wasn't what I expect at all. And a lot of people count themselves out because they look at something which seems can be a little intimidating. I'm sorry about the baby, y'all. My son, he's getting ready to move. Okay. But something that seems to be a bit intimidating can kind of, remove you. You can think that, you know what, I don't qualify for anything like this. And that's why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, because people don't think that they deserve something, for one, and for two, they think that they don't qualify for something based on their perception. So they never give it a chance. But little did I know, had I not stepped into unfamiliar territories, I would have missed out on my blessing. And you can have, a decent career making decent money, but if you got a decent lifestyle that's gonna match those decent bills and everything, you're not really bringing the money home that you feel that you need to bring home, and ultimately you're still living from paycheck to paycheck. And
Mhm.
I knew that I was tired of living from paycheck to paycheck because I had, the house notes, the car notes, and all these different things that ate up my bottom line. So that caused me to have to go out and get another job or a side hustle, and I was just tired of living that type of life.
Wow,
Definitely.
So
you said a mouthful. You said a lot. And I think a lot of people right now, honestly, they're so focused on the how that they don't really begin to really move into the possibility. You talked about a lot of people not qualifying themselves because they automatically create this story of that's not, I can't do that. This is bad. This looks hard. I'm more in this zone. And so they eliminate themselves for the possibility of freedom and eliminate themselves for the possibility of increase because they told themselves the story that may not even be true. You even went as far as talking about, a lot of people have degrees. They did things quote unquote the right way. They went to school, they got a degree, maybe 2 degrees, maybe 3 degrees. I know some people with several degrees on their wall for decoration, collecting dust, but they don't
right,
even work in the field. And even if
right.
they were working fields, it did not gear them the lifestyle that they thought it was going to give them, mainly because those degrees sometimes are 10, 20 years old. Now, we probably never saw it to have an expiration date on it, but here's the thing. Inflation is 11% a year. So if you're not getting a raise on your job consistently, which most people are not, then you find yourself still living from paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because you create a lifestyle for a certain amount of money, and then the prices on things start to increase in not your income. And so you find yourself still being kind of overworked, underpaid, living paycheck to paycheck, but you educated. So I want to talk to you a little bit, Davini, about that, because I think we're living in a time where you see people who have less education but are making more money. And so
That's true.
maybe we need them to be educated based on knowing school textbook knowledge. But let's talk about the people who are using wisdom in 2020 to get ahead. Why are people without the same qualifications of education, without degrees on their walls, without the time or experience, why are these people in many situations we think about the people who are doing over and beyond the norm? Why do you believe those people are experiencing extreme success? Meanwhile, the person who did the quote unquote American dream, I'm going back to school to get some more education. Why do you think that they have such a big gap on results and success than that person that's still doing things the traditional way?
Definitely. So I can tell you, I was one of those people who I called myself a career student. I moved to New Orleans from New York to attend Loyola University. I went there, had a double major in psychology and marketing, then left there, went back to school again at Charity School of Nursing for my associate's nursing degree, went back to school again at LSU, and just picked up so many licenses, real estate, EMT. I'm esthetician. Think if you could think of it, and there was a school for it.
Wow.
I was one of those students who was like, "Let me try that. Let me try that."
Wow.
Settled into my nursing career, and what I was realizing, social media, we have such an advantage now because we're able to see things now, and once again, right here in the palm of our hands. And I'm working hard. I loved my patients, loved what I did as a nurse, but I had an entrepreneurial spirit, hence the reason why I kept going back to school thinking that this American dream and that's the way it was supposed to be was the way to go. I'm watching on social media people who I know, finished high school, started a business, and they're skyrocketing. I'm watching people who dropped out of college and skyrocketed. And I'm like, man, not only are they skyrocketing in their new careers as business owners and entrepreneurs, but they're doing things that just aren't normal textbooks things to do, whether it's opening up a clothing store, getting into digital currency like Forex and stuff. And I'm like, man, I went to school, I had school loans. And these people have good credits. They don't owe anybody. But it's motivation. You're looking at these things and you're like, wow, I was in school for almost all my life and still not doing the things that people who dropped out or only graduated high school were doing.
Wow.
So I think the reason why they reached such success is because they eliminated fear and just went with the move.
Oh.
So fear tends to keep us in a box. You know what I mean? I was one of those people who were kept in a box. I believed in the American tradition of things and just the way that it was set up. Go to school, get a job. For me, just the regular job wasn't going to work. So I found myself at times working 2 or 3 jobs just to keep up with entrepreneurs who just took that leap of faith and found their path to really just make it work for them. Now they have control of their income while I'm busy trying to clock clocks to get where they're at. But clocking clocks is not going to let that happen. Clocking clocks lets them dictate how much they're going to pay you, and hopefully you can work some overtime and do it instead of being able to really expand your mind and just really, hey, you know, I saw this thing on social media just to break off where it's like you can work 8 hours and get paid like 140 hours, or you can sell 5, I don't know, shirts or whatever it is that you sell and make the same amount in an hour.
Wow.
The reason why most of us aren't doing that is because we're scared. We're fearful.
And I wanted to chime in. I'm sorry. Dee, I wanted to chime in on something that you said. A lot of people, they are fearful, but I also know, especially, you know, where I'm from, a lot of people are concerned about what the next person is going to think about them. Like, we have to get permission about other people's opinions of us. So if you were to step out into a zone to where you did something against the grain, you may not be accepted in a certain view, or you may not be respected in a certain light. So you kind of do what the next person is doing, or what your parents may have expected you to do. If your parents expected you to go to school and go to college, well, then now you want to please your parents, so you want to stay in the lanes. You want to color inside the lines. But I dare you to color outside the lines, and that way you can get something that your parents never had, and that's
and now you have a Picasso.
Right.
I know that's right. Hello, yes. So, okay, you guys said a lot. I mean, because y'all into the mindsets of why a lot of people hold themselves back, which has a lot to do with who you connected to, right? When you're inside of circles where people think a certain way, when you start thinking outside the box, that's where the resistance kind of come in at. And a lot of people do seek permission. They start to say, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And they're waiting for their friends and coworkers and family members to come along that journey with them, when usually that's not the way it happens for people that are really going to be successful. And so we're seeing a major shift. We are in the, I don't want to say the year because it's not the year. I believe that we are in the decade for sure, if not century, of the entrepreneur. So what you're seeing right now is someone who have invested $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a semester or a year for traditional education, who doesn't seem to be as valued as a person who has the heart, the gut, who has the wherewithal to step out on faith and push past that fear. That's what's looking like it's making a bigger difference than a person who did what we would call playing it safe, right? Because that's no longer safe anymore. It's no longer safe anymore anyway, because I almost felt for a while that it was unfair. Let me break it down to you. I was the girl who grew up in New Orleans, always very ambitious, always was looking to color outside the lines, always had my own rules, but I was deemed the problem child because of it, right? I was the one that used my brain in a different way. I went to a private school, and a lot of those girls did things the traditional way. A lot of girls did things the traditional way, where a lot of people rather did things the traditional way. And so because I was thinking outside the box, my goal was to find a way to get to the top. And I always believed that it was more than one way to get to the top. So I know people who went to school, did things the right way. And here now I'm the one that they call Dr. China, not because I went and got my doctorate degree, but because I served in the community to a capacity that I was recognized for my work, for the physical work that I did at an early age. I'm a young woman already with a doctorate degree that's deemed globally a global ambassador to the United Nations and recognized as a Lifetime Achievement Award by Barack. I mean, that kind of felt unfair to the person who became the valedictorian in high school, who went to college, who was always on time, who completed all of their classes, who got the degrees, who went out to get that job, who maybe got the job, maybe got paid what they wanted, only to realize that it's still not enough because the student loans is eating up a lot of that money. So what it really boiled down to, I thank God for it because it was really a lot of wisdom. And that's the part that I pray that everybody really prays for is wisdom. Wisdom allows you to see past the current time that you're in. It allows you to see into the future. I'm not talking about prophecy. I'm just talking about the wisdom and then the courage to move into things that don't make sense to your counterpart. These things didn't make sense. They used to tell me I kept my head in the clouds. I was always dreaming big and wanting to travel around the world since a young girl. So I want to speak to that young woman who is still dreaming right now, but her conditions in her environment, she's around people who don't feed the giant that's on the inside of her. And I want to speak to that girl because sometimes without hearing somebody that you could connect to, you feel like you kind of lost and it's too late. And I think it's such a shame that women in their early 20s are already kind of feeling like, well, I guess this is it for me. Get up and go to work, and have this routine life. And that's not it for you. We just can tell you that it's going to require courage when you say yes to Forex with us, because the rest of the world is going to be telling you, girl, what you doing? You doing that thing you doing is be mindful of who you listen to, because if they don't have the results you want, you might want to stop listening to them.
It's true.
Because the game has changed. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I love that you talked about fear. You talked about Toya, you talked about not just fear, but you talked about people being consumed with other people's opinions of them. Give someone, Toya, right now the courage to say yes to themselves and give themselves the permission to just get an alignment with us. Because the title of this is alignment. Who are you connected to? If you want to be a part of circles like this, do you know you can give yourself permission right now and say, I'm about to DM them right now. I'm about to get into their I don't know their phone numbers. I never met them before. Somebody just happened to send this to me. In fact, whoever sent this to you, what I would do if I were you, I will reach out to them and say, are you a part of Rich University? That should be the question, because you want to be a part of Rich University, a community that's going to help to serve you and to bring the greatness from the inside of you out so that you can become who God has ultimately called you to be. So, Toya, talk a little bit about why that young girl needs to keep dreaming, keep pushing, and get inside of a circle like this, or a young guy, a man, a woman, whoever. Why do they need to be a part of this in now?
Well, I feel like now is the time more than ever. Why? Because you only have one life to live, okay? Only have one life to live. And I don't want you to feel like, oh, I can wait, oh, I can do that later. No, tomorrow is not promised to anybody. And let me tell you, it's very important on who you are aligned to, who you let feed into your ear gates, who you let feed into your spirit, what you watching, what you're speaking, because whatever you speak out your mouth, you give it life. And let me tell you right now, everybody is not qualified to go where God has you to go. Everybody is not going to understand. So you got some people called dream killers, okay? Dream killers are assigned to your life. You may not know who they are. They may be in your family. But let me tell you, if God has placed something in you, and if you know the field that you have chosen just because you feel like you had to choose something because society put that stigma on you, and so now you're doing something just because, not because you truly want to, let me tell you, give yourself permission to win. And anybody that rises up against that, just know, hey, baby, I love you, but I got to love you from a distance, because you may possibly be a dream killer. And I cannot afford my dream to be killed or crushed, not in this season. So I'm telling you now, I'm talking to you, young girl, young man, woman, boy, I don't want you to ever feel like you're too old or you're too young to step out and move. If you step out, God can give you the strength to keep walking. And I'm letting you know, I'm a living testimony and example. You heard my baby crying. And let me tell you right now that if I had not stepped out and went against the grain, went against what my family said, went against what people told me that I could not do, went against the naysayers, the persecutors, I would not be retired right now, and they would not be punching the clock. if I would still be punching the clock. So let me tell you, don't miss the move. Do not miss the move.
Wow.
And I'm not against jobs, but I'm against the programming of the mind. It's the mindset. Don't get caught up.
So, Toya, you saying that there was naysayers on your journey that tried to talk you out of this, that probably thought, girl, why are you doing this? Coming up with everything that they could say. But meanwhile, you still move forward. You still press forward through all of the distraction. And now you're the one that's retired at 39. They still employed. Nothing against them being employed, because maybe they would have said yes and still would have been employed. Who knows? But the fact is, you're in a situation that's been able to give you a little bit of leverage throughout this time to be free in a moment, to not be working on a job right now. I mean, that, I think that's the biggest, you touched on something. The video talked about the fear, and I do think that a lot of people honestly are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of whether or not they're gonna fail. They're afraid of whether or not they're gonna learn. They're afraid of what people gonna say about them making a decision to do this. Talk about the person a little bit, the video that gets started, but then they quit. Like they don't give themselves a chance to develop. They gave their job living paycheck to paycheck, right? They gave their job 20 years living paycheck to paycheck. They gave school, 4 years, 8 years. It's still not where they want to be. Now it's time for them to bet on themselves. Talk to that person on why they need to absolutely bet on themselves.
Definitely. So I was one when I first came into this, sometimes your biggest naysayers could be your family. Your family can be the ones that are like, for me, I went to college, and in their minds, it was like, okay, you went to school for all of this, and now you're saying that you're going to do something that you've never even done before. You're not sure the direction it's going to go. It made it even worse after 3 months when I said, okay, I'm quitting my job. Like, I believe in this. I'm quitting my job.
Pause. You said you quit your job after 3 months of being a part of Rich University.
3 months.
As a nurse?
As an RN. So, my thing, just hearing it from my family, I can tell you, especially my family, they're from the islands, education is everything. They make a lot of sacrifices to get us into this country, just make that movement. That's a big move for people coming in. The American dream is what they see. So to have me make sure that I go to school, make sure I had the best education, and then for me to get into something that I had no prior knowledge about, they were my dream killers.
Wow.
Perseverance, that just fueled me. I had coworkers that when I first heard about what was being offered at Rich University, I was like, come on, man, like we all are complaining about the same thing. Let's do this together. Like we could really, during our lunch breaks, we're all in the same office. Like, let's do this together. And they're like, D, I don't have time for that. Girl, you always thinking about something else. So it was really something that I really had to step out on faith, and then to look back. And, like I said, I use that to be my motivation and my drive, because you tell me I can't do it. That means that I just have to show you that much more that I can.
I'm so glad you got that fight in you, girl. Most people don't have that fight, though. Most people, as soon as somebody says something, I remember I made my list. So when you get involved in a business like this, you automatically think about, I think about, who do I want to travel around the world with? Who do I want to be on a yacht with? Who do I want to be on a private jet with? And that's a compliment to make it to my list. You want to make it to my list, because I don't care what you decide to do. I'm going somewhere. I can tell you that now. Yeah. And so I think about all these people who had the money, who had the resource, who I believe had the knowledge, who was going to get, that they needed to be a part of this. And a lot of them said no. That was like, a lot of people allow that to discourage them. So first you make your decision, bam, you in. Now, the people who you think are going to be a part of this with you, they decide not to do it. What helps you to keep going and not stay stuck there with them? Like, Toya, you said it, you would have been still at your job. The video, you told your coworkers you'd have been still at your job. What gives you the drive, the courage to say, look, whether you do this or not, I got people I'm connected. I'm going to win with them. You decide to do whatever you want. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going. Toya, talk a little bit about the drive that allows you to keep going with people who you believe are going to support you, disappoint you.
Well, Dr. China, in fact, I just experienced that this week. A lot of people that, like you said, you think is going to be on this journey with you, they talk a good game, but in fact, when it comes down to putting your money where your mouth is, they just shrink back down. But the thing that motivates me to keep going is because I know what it's like to be down. I done been down for too long. I know what it's like and the results that I get from punching the clock. I've been doing that my whole life. I done seen my family, my mama do that. And if you in your 60 and 50 and you still punching the clock, that ain't the future that I want. And I know that when you're on a job, you only have a certain cap that they're going to pay you. Once you reach that cap and you're closer to retirement, what they do is, because I've seen it, they will get you to train your replacement, and they will bring a younger person in at a lower rate, and they know you're closer to retirement. So after they use you up and get you to train, because you've been seasoned and you know the ins and outs of the place, because you done made them a lot of money, so they're going to push you out the door whether you ready to retire or not. I know what that's like. So I know for me, I have to keep going, and I know the things that God has shown me is much bigger than a cubicle. And that's just what it is. So I have to keep going whether somebody is walking beside me or not. And in this journey, let me tell you, you're going to have to be bold. Sometimes you may have to do it alone. And what I mean by alone is go against where you come from, go against what you've been hearing your whole life, and connect with other bosses, connect with people that's already paved the way, connect with people that has the success that you're trying to reach. Nobody that's broke, that's struggling cannot get in my ear anymore. I'm sorry. I know what that feels like, and I'm just above that. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I am.
Wow. I want to just say congratulations, especially for being, from certain cities. I think it makes it a little bit harder. And you got to just make a decision and keep making decisions. Some people make a decision to join, but they don't realize that that's the first decision. And that decision is, they made it harder than it was. To join is just $235. So if you got the money, that's not a hard decision. Okay. It's just, first of all, it's $235. Okay. Let's just be clear. And I think that honestly, you got to pay to be a part of certain circles. Some people, listen, we in America. Okay. We in America. I don't care what nobody said, unless you're watching from somewhere else, perhaps a third world country. They got people who have said yes to Forex, and they are in countries where the income that comes into a household for a whole month is $200. So just imagine that. So I don't feed into the idea that people don't have money right now. People actually got a lot of money right now. In fact, some people got more money now with unemployment than they had when they were employed. Let's just talk about that. And so I know you receive what you believe, whether it's true or not. I just know people spend their money on what they want. And we have a responsibility to educate the masses of people, especially in our community, that this is for them. You belong at the top, for number one. Give yourself permission to be a part of the number one company in the world inside of this space. Give yourself permission to be a part of the number one in the largest industry. The largest financial industry is what we're talking about. The Forex market is a $6.7 trillion daily market. And if you're wondering why, if it's so amazing, why you didn't know about it, let me tell you why. Because if you didn't have $3 million many years ago, you would not have even had access to this market. So things take time to transition down generationally. So if your grandmother and your parents did not have $3 million or millions of dollars to get in Forex, this would not have been a conversation at the dinner table. Not to mention, this is not something that they're going to teach at the public school level. So even if you went to private school, Harvard University is just now talking about incorporating Forex. How much do you think you're going to pay if you go to Harvard to learn what we're providing for you here in Rich University? You got Harvard or you got Rich University? Which one you going to choose? If you can afford Harvard, I can tell you right now, no matter how much you pay for it, I can guarantee that you're not going to get the personal experience and the personal touch that you're going to get here with Rich University. And the fact that you get to pay $235 to get started with us, we make it affordable and available for you to fit into this space. So the main thing is giving yourself permission that you deserve to be a part of the number one company, to be a part of the largest financial market. That $6.7 trillion a day is a number that you're no longer afraid of, but that you want a piece of that pie. And so, Dee, let's start to wrap it up. Give them an opportunity to get in. Talk a little bit about your testimony since being here. We know you both been able to retire since saying yes to Forex with Rich University. So we are collecting resignation letters here at Rich University. I just want to say that, right, Dee? Okay, we're collecting resignation letters. So if you want to walk off of your job, I don't know what you're going to be willing to put into this as it relates to time and energy and effort. But these two women here I don't know the last time I worked a job, to be honest with you. So it's been a while. You just retired this year. We retired last year, right? So
Yeah.
this is the story. So even if you can't connect with mine, I was blessed to make my first million before I was 30 years old, right? You could connect with new stories. It's still happening right now. And I believe that now is the best time, even better than when I got started, because I had to pave the way. It was a lot that we had to go and chop down to even make it attractive. We worked on something intentionally called Tokyo China to make it a concept that you no longer have to look at 10, 20 monitors and be on training calls all day and consuming time that you don't have. You can literally take 2 minutes to put in the trade, set it and forget it, and grow your account significantly. We're about 98% accurate with that trade, and that's just unheard of inside of this space. And so it gives you an opportunity for it to make sense for your life. So just talk a little bit really quick about some of your testimonies and now some of the people that you're helping with the movements that you guys are impacting. You guys got hundreds of people on your team since you said yes. Why you decided to put people on? Why you didn't decide to keep it to yourself? D, you could have just been trading at home. You already, making money in the market. Why are you telling people about this? Why you keep putting people on? When are you gonna stop? Like, why do you keep sharing?
So my thing was, like I told y'all in the beginning of this call, I came to New Orleans from New York City. Coming to New Orleans and just, embracing the city. I loved it. I came in after Katrina, and just saw, a lot of people, even as me working as an RN, I still was picking up shifts as a waitress at Brennan's restaurant, on Royal Street. I still was working at Hard Rock sometimes, still was doing an esthetician work, doing facials every now and again when I could. Carrying my big table with me after getting off from dealing with patients, and realized that was something that was really common in New Orleans, even, with the exception of the entrepreneurs. Even if you had a really good paying job, if you had that hustling spirit, the thing was to go after that other job. And the restaurant industry in New Orleans was almost where you can kind of start feeling that entrepreneurial spirit, because if you turned your tables fast enough, then you knew that you could get a certain amount of tips per night. At least that's how I used to calculate it. So just knowing that and seeing how people worked in New Orleans and the spirit of New Orleans, when I got into the Forex space, it moved me. I came in not knowing much and knew what it did for me. I was able to literally leave all 3 hustles alone for one. And not only leave 3 hustles alone for one, but I didn't miss out on income when I did that. I'm traveling more. I've upgraded in lifestyle and just feeling free. Like, as in the call before, I was like, when you're stressed, you might not even realize it, but your jaw is a bit clenched or your shoulders are a bit tense. You're able to do that little wiggle room now. You could just relax a little bit, and me getting that feeling and knowing what it could do, even before I really knew how to trade in the Forex market, I started talking about it because of what it could do, the possibilities of it. I knew how many people in the city needed it. I knew how many people in the world would need it. And, came in before there was a COVID where people were really forced out of jobs or anything like that. So just to be able to have that movement and be able to say, like Dr. China said, we collect resignation letters over here, to know that a lot of people that I've dealt with were not necessarily laid off, but they chose to leave their positions because now they're moving in a digital space. Even police officers who I've worked with who are like, look, I don't got to do details anymore because I'm making it now with Forex. It just frees up your time and it allows you to really put back into yourself. We pour so much into other things, into other companies, into other businesses, that really we say it's a game of give and take, but let's be real, they're taking more than they should. We're working for pennies. Our kids are missing out on what it is to have that 2-parent household because mom has to work or dad has to work overtime. It's stressful. And now you can really just sit back, and if you needed to, let's say mortgage was coming up, you could sit here, and once again, I keep pointing to my phone because this is how I make my money. Let's get it on the screen. Now you could really sit here and be like, you know what, instead of me working that overtime where now families are being missed out on because we have mom and dad working these crazy hours, now you're able to sit at home and not only have mom and dad trading and having time with the kids, but now let's get the kids involved, because let's be real. I'm 32 years old. My little brother's 12. He caught onto this way faster than I did.
Let's get it.
So just be able to have that family time, bring it back to how it was, where now we're really bringing in and the family's growing together. At dinner time, we can talk about the same things that we didn't have the opportunities to talk about in households, especially if you didn't have the millions of dollars that Dr. China talked to just invest. Now these have become our household conversations. And to know that, you know, my yes and helping others create their yes with it is something that impacted New Orleans along with LaToya, that really just changed the game in this city. I could tell you what we've done in the city with Rich is we're trending out here. So to just say that you were part of that original movement when people said no and told you were crazy, and girl, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Mom telling me, girl, you really gonna leave your career that's paying you already 6 figures to do something that you're hoping will work. To know that you're part of something like that, you never know where your yes can take you. So many doors open, so many businesses. Your mind is free, your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw's not clenched, you start to look youthful, look at the glow. But you know, it just changes things.
Lord, it's so true. I mean, you touched on so much, D. Oh my gosh. I'm so tuned, and I know so many people are listening in and they're totally in tune as well. Just the release of the stress. And you know, we talked to a nurse the other day, and this woman just talked about, you know, they was using her body up until she couldn't be used no more. She thought as a nurse you could always have a job, but if you're lifting up on patients and you got issues with your back, and I was affecting your knees, and there's a strain over time, no, at a certain point, your body won't be able to do what you thought that you was going to be able to do. And so then what do you do then? And a lot of people in those professions, they don't have a plan B. You know, you talk about the police officer doing a detail, and they don't have to do that anymore, especially with the times that we're living in right now. They might want to really be like, let me second think this. We're living in a different world right now. And so to now we got so many police officers on the team, they don't have to go out and do a detail job. They literally are making money on their phone and doing very well. So it's just a tremendous blessing. Listen, guys, we're going harder than we ever went before. Why? Because we're on a mission. God has called us and chosen us for a time such as this to make impact on nations and generations around the world. Why won't we keep it to ourselves? Why won't we quit? Why won't we stop talking about it? Because the truth is we're living in the future. You guys haven't even caught up yet. If you're not on this yet, it's just simply because you haven't caught up yet. It's just like being in 1990 and not understanding the power of the internet. You didn't understand what was about to change your whole entire life. So some of you are watching right now, and those that have ears to hear and eyes to see, they're saying yes, they're moving. They don't even know why they're moving. They don't even know why they're saying yes. They don't even understand everything yet, but they know that something on the inside of them is saying move. And they're like, I can't keep doing what I'm doing. It's not working. If you have not discovered a plan for your life, it's time to connect with people who are on a mission, that's on a journey, doing something that you could do too. Give yourself permission. You're listening to right now a retired cosmetologist. I did have for 11 years. Absolutely love what I did, but I knew it was not going to allow me to become wealthy. It just wasn't. It was before lace fronts were being laid. It was before, you know, people really was developing products, and before social media became a really big phenomenon. I knew that I did not want to stand behind a chair doing hair all my life hustling. I didn't want that. And the opportunity came that I wasn't necessarily looking to be packaged that way. I was looking for an opportunity, and some of you are looking for an opportunity right now. You're looking for opportunity to pay off your home. You're looking for opportunity to retire. You're looking for opportunity to have more streams of income coming in. You're looking for opportunity to pay off your student loan debt, but you didn't realize it was going to be packaged like this. Those of you who have a relationship with God, you got to start to trust the relationship. You got to start to trust even when he's taking you into unknown territories. Many times you're out of your comfort zone, and out of your comfort zone is where you're stretched into your next level. You're stretched into your blessing, and you got to know when to move. You got to know when to say, look, right now, some people, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me tell you the conversation that was happening. There were so many people in New Orleans who were getting unemployment checks that's about to run out. I don't even know the story on it. I don't know. I'm listening to their conversation, and they didn't have a plan because they didn't know where they were going to get hired at. They didn't know if they was going to go back to a job. And I'm having a conversation about investing, and they decided to take that money because they was like, wait a minute, I'm holding on to something that is not going to, if it run out and you ain't invested into nothing or position yourself into nothing, you're now sitting and waiting for somebody else to come up with a plan for your life because you didn't take the money you could have invested into something to have your own plan. This is the time for you to say, look, maybe I didn't have the time before. God fixed that for you. Right now you got the time. Maybe you didn't have the resources before. God fixed that for you. Now you got the resources. Let's not continue to make excuses to miss out on the very blessing that we pray for. Now is your time to move. It's your time to say yes. It's your time to get involved with Rich University. Why Rich University? Rich University provides something very, very unique. We have changed the game. We have simplified your trading experience. Our group specifically right now is for that mom, that dad, that busy professional, that student who does not have a lot of time. You know you need your money to be growing for you, but you don't have the time to maybe stare at charts all day long or on sessions all day long. We show you how to compound your money inside of Rich University. We are a community that expects for you to come in and not even really understand what Forex is. We break it down to you at the most intimate levels, and we've developed our own product like Tokyo China, like the 10% trading plan that we provide to you that's very unique and shows you how you can actually retire from your job or fire your boss. We give you an equivalent. So if you're making $15 an hour, $20 an hour, we show you what it takes for you to go from where you're consuming your time on a job. How much do I need to make in my trade account to walk away from this? We give you the support and the community and the leadership and the mentorship. I mean, it is priceless what you get inside of Rich University. And so I'm excited. Toya, why Rich University? Why should they say yes as we close out for tonight? I believe this is amazing. I know people are saying, what do I do now? Somebody invited you here. You simply want to get back with that person. You want to let them know what you like most about what you heard. They have a unique link if they are a part of Rich University. If they are not a part of Rich University, you want to find the person who is a part of Rich University. If I invited you, reach out to me. If Toya invited you, reach out to her. If Davinia invited you, reach out to her. And when you reach out, I need you to move with a sense of urgency, like your life depends on it, because for some of you, it does. Talk a little bit about why Rich University, Toya.
Guys, Rich University is the way to go. Why? Because when I say yes to Forex, something I didn't know nothing about, I literally was saying yes to much more than just trading. I said yes to lifelong relationships. I said yes to mentorship, priceless mentorship that people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, but I have it right at my fingertips. I said yes to just the motivation alone. Man, let me tell you, when you go through different things in life as a busy mom, just the pressure of things that's going on in society today. I am the mother of two males. I have a husband, and it's fearful to have them to go out in the streets, worried about if they're going to get murdered, worried about if something is, are they going to come home? Let me tell you, we have people here that can literally pray for you, that can cover you, that can cover your family. So it's so much bigger than just getting money. On top of that, we have like-minded individuals that truly want to see you win. This ain't no crab barrel mentality over here at Rich University. In fact, we celebrate you when you get the bag. We help you get the bag, okay? We salute you when you get the bag. So when you have like-minded people here, we are literally a family. That's why you need to say yes to Rich University. This is why I put everybody on. I know what it's like to struggle, but I also know that everything that I've been through in my life wasn't just for me. It was to help you come through. And if my story could be a testimony to help you come out of your funk, well, come on in. The water is trouble. Let's go.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Davinia, any closing remarks?
Definitely. I said yes to Forex and yes to Rich University because whether or not I said yes or not, they were going to do it with my life and my bank account either way. And I got tired of having a bank do and make themselves greater. We know banks are billion-dollar corporations, right? Banks are already doing this. This is big bank world. We're talking about the JP Morgans. We're talking about all those big names that store our money. I got tired of knowing that when I put my money into the bank, what happens is they use it as leverage to make themselves richer. I got tired of knowing that there was an opportunity where I can do the same thing on my own. And now maybe not make the $1 billion yet that they're making, but I could start working on a plan where I can make it too. I got tired of having somebody deal with my faith and make decisions for me in the morning. And I wanted to take that power into my own hands. And that's what allowed me to do that with Forex and with Rich University. So that's it. Say yes, take control.
That's amazing. Listen, ladies, gentlemen, it is now time to go. We are literally at the mid of 2020, and this has been a very interesting year. But some of us have not been interrupted by the grace of God in our income. Some of our relationships have increased. Our income has increased. Our legacies have begun to increase. Financial trajectories are in place. Legacies are being built right now because we understand something, even though we may not know what's next and what's coming up. We have to step out on faith. We have to push fear out of the way. And I thank God that we are in a digital technology space, that digitally everybody is turning to the internet. If you don't have a link in your bio, if you don't have a way that a person could leverage and work with you on social media, and you're spending a lot of your time on social media, you're missing it. You're a part of the consumers, and we want to show you how to be a part of those that actually have something to offer because you have a solution. Here's what I know. Rich University provides a solution to a world-class problem, and we make impact on nations and generations around the world. Nations of people are saying yes, and they're learning a skill set that no one will ever be able to take away from them. It doesn't matter if there's another recession. It doesn't matter if there is a government shutdown. It doesn't matter what your boss says. It doesn't matter if your company goes out of business. What you have in your brain is the money market. The ability to trade currencies like the banks and the hedge funds out there. You know, we're talking about Forex. We're talking about the billionaire boys' backyard. We're in their backyard right now. So now you get a chance to get a piece of that. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to come into your community and do what we're doing here in Rich University to provide this education, elite level of education and information to you. So give yourself an opportunity to be a part of history. So when your grandkids and your great grandkids ask you, what did you do in 2020 when the whole world was turned upside down? You say that you absolutely changed the financial trajectory of your future. You provided a solution to your children for generations to come. The decision that you made in 2020 when the world was being turned upside down allowed y'all to stand on that beautiful property that you would be in with all of the land that all of your family can actually fit on, because you made a bold decision in a time where people were fearful and running for cover. Decided to move out on faith and move into your destiny and say yes because something was pulling in your spirit, and you kept moving and you did it for your family. You'll be able to tell that story when they are looking at the beautiful home and sitting down with you in your beautiful rocking chair, and you're looking out the window of acres and acres and acres of land, and you've been able to do so much for your children that you could have never imagined. You've been able to pay off stuff for your parents. You've been able to go back generations and do it for your parents and your grandparents, what they could not do because you decided to be bold. See, here's what a lot of people don't understand about Rich. I wanted to do something by the grace of God that would allow our community to see the word rich differently, because for too long, people were uncomfortable with money. They were uncomfortable with the word rich. And so we developed something that meant so much more than money. When we're talking about rich, we're talking about being royalty and knowing who you are. We're talking about being inspirational and not keeping it to yourself. We know it's going to require you to be courageous, which is happening right now. In order for you to move, you got to have some courage to build up on the inside of you so that you can move into your greatest destiny. And when you do, you got to remain humble. When you get those millions and you start to become successful and you start to climb up the ladder and you start to change the financial trajectory of your family and you start to build legacies and you start to be the name that your family is talking about. When they say, girl, you heard, huh? What? Girl, Target and bought a jet. What? You heard, huh?
Hello.
On the island. What? You heard, huh? Tamika did this and Takara did that and Myra did this. You heard, huh? Laquita did this, right? She bought the block back.
Yes.
That becomes a conversation because your decision that you made to be connected to the right people. Who are you in alignment with? And what is the conversations that you guys are having? Who are you connecting to? And who's speaking life into you and pulling out that giant that's on the inside of you, causing you to rise up higher than you've ever risen up before? Now is the time, because the greatest stories of our time are being created right now. Sis, you still got time. Bro, you still got time. Now have to win. That's why Rich University.
Yes.
So with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We're so excited. Share. You can still share this. You can still comment. We want to know what city. We want to know what state. Drop it in right now. Drop your comments in right now. Let us know what city, what state. Reach back out to us. We want to work with you. We got a few more positions that's open for you to work directly with us inside of our community, directly with us. And share. If you know right now this is just not for you, for whatever reason, you just counted yourself. You said, listen, this not for me. I dare you to share it or tag 5 people who you believe this is for. 5 people who are not only looking to make more money, but need to be in the proper relationships because they got big goals and they got big dreams and you care about them. And you saying, when I see these women up here, I see my daughter. When I see these women up here, I see my sister. When I see these women up here, I see my auntie. When I see these women up here, whoever you see, connect us with them now. Give them a chance. We want to pass around positive information. We want to pass around positive education to help our community win. So with that being said, thank you so much, Latoya, the game changer. I know you're there with your beautiful baby and your family. Thank you, Davinia, that Forex chick. Thank you so much for serving, for helping, and for always making it happen. So God bless you guys.
Thank you, Dr. China. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. China.
Bye-bye.
Bye.